Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to another video. And we won a London derby. I say won very, very loosely because I really didn't feel like a victory. It was like watching paint dry for the best part of 87 minutes. But we did it. Masterclass again with the substitutes. Lukaku getting the penalty. Pulisic with the winner as well. Marcus Alonso, a very good performance from him. We'll delve into everything regarding the game, and we'll also delve into the sad Rudiger news. Sad or is it sad? I don't know. We're gonna delve into the differences. I want to know how people view this and compare it to other potential departures from the club. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Josh, we can hear the music, the weight music.
Hear the jazz, the light jazz.
Yeah, the elevator music.
That's a bit soothing. I can't lie. That can keep running. I'm cool with that.
I'll try to.
Yeah, I don't think you can get done over for that.
Nah, it should be fine. We'll be talking all over it anyway, so it's all good. But yeah, everyone, smash the like and subscribe button. Big up everyone that's locked in, and let's get into it. Jesters, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm listening to some jazz in the background. Yeah, I'm doing great. Of course, my guy had to score the winner, so yeah, I get to mud people this morning and laugh at their faces. Yeah, I just want to see that maybe later on.
I'm here for the shamelessness.
Yeah, maybe I can see that later on in 2022 when they play England, when US plays England. Because if he scores a winner against England, just deactivate right now.
I'll be laughing with you.
It's not going to be fun for you.
I'm neutral. I couldn't give a shit. I'm just here for the chaos that day.
I'm here for Wales.
So, and we got, of course, after the game, Rüdiger's leaving for less money than we offered him. That's amazing.
I know. So. It's a real shame. It is what it is. But we move. Maybe we can use that money towards potentially re-signing other centre-backs. Never know.
No, that ain't going to happen either. He's got cramps.
That wasn't necessary, man.
He's like the Ben Simmons of soccer.
But it was.
It really wasn't, but it's cool. I'll let it run. Chris, what are you saying, bro? You all good?
Yeah, had a decent weekend. Enjoyed F1, enjoyed football at least we won, we got the result. My boy Jorginho missed a penalty though, but at least Justice boy saved us, so yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, I kind of echo all of that. Josh, what are you saying?
Yeah, man, that was I thought it was a good old throwback English football game, man. It was West Ham trying not to concede a goal, and Chelsea trying to score one for 90 minutes, and it finally happened. Yeah, big up to Tuchel. All three subs made a huge impact.
I thought he was safe.
Unreal.
I didn't know he was in this.
He didn't even get to say hello, man. I'll cede my last few seconds to Pokudoku. You can say hello.
Pokudoku, what do you
do? Pokudoku, you're right, man.
Yeah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, love to hear it, bro. Oh, man, for 90 seconds. This is ridiculous. Yo,
I'm telling you, he should change his name to 100 Pound.
You're my guy and all, but yeah. Hope you enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I got to see Declan Rice playing it.
And who knows? With everyone leaving, you might see Pokudoku. I mean, you might see Levi Colwill, but yeah, big up yourself anyway. I didn't even kick him out. He left. It's all mad.
I think
who's next then? Alex, what are you saying, bro? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good. It was a horrible game. I mean, not horrible, but like it was.
No, it was horrible. It was horrible.
It was 0-0 written all over it. I said it. I thought I actually could have lost. Anyway, it's fine. Captain America saved us. The grass was cut proper size. The field wasn't wasn't the problem. I heard fans singing Gerard. I don't know why they keep singing that fucking song.
They were doing the Gerard chant. Of course, they were fucking doing the Gerard chant.
Yeah, if I heard it on TV, that means that they yelled it aloud. Like, why Gerard? I have no idea.
Our Fountains base has a weird obsession with the Gerard chant and anti-Tottenham chants, but it's fine. It is what it is. Last but not least, Declared. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, big stream today. Dealing with a stomachache before the stream. I could relate with some of the players. You could tell that we put out the team for the proper London derby. You know, the other one was lesser of the team. We had to take this one more seriously than the last one. But good 3 points, I guess.
Yeah. I hope your
I got to add
stomach
too. Who knew Lukaku can dive as well? I didn't know he could dive. It's part of his
it was a
game
little
now.
bit of a
Was that
dive.
dive? That looked genuine.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it was a little bit of a
little bit of both. Maybe
It
like
went down
60,
easy.
40.
Yeah, I agree with that. It went down.
You know
easy.
what?
It
After
looked
the
bad.
Saka penalty, we'll take it. Here's why.
And you know the
300
problem is
pounds.
he ruined the grass too, and Tuchel's going to complain about that next game. I think.
he left a divot in the pitch when he fell down.
Yeah.
Listen, it was a good. Listen, it was a
Like
good,
he didn't land
it
on
was
the
a good-
penalty spot. We would have missed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Jorginho missed
Maybe
it. I
that's why
think he landed.
Jorginho missed.
Yeah,
It was a good-
there we
it was
go.
a
We
good
went connect the
turn-in
dots
run.
there. We solved that.
Who connected
Can we
the
give him an
dots?
ounce of credit? It was a good turn and run. He made a nice spin.
Yeah,
on the
it
ball.
did.
He
Oh,
probably
yeah,
scored-
no,
he probably
Actually,
scores-
I
he
give
for
him
sure
more
probably
credit
scores
than
that if
little
he doesn't get
because
pulled
he
back.
was. I'll give him more credit than little because he was way behind the ball. He had to adjust. The defender made a mistake by go physical against him versus try to chase the ball first because you can see the defender had the closer to the ball originally, not Lukaku, but Lukaku bullied him off the ball, which was I give Lukaku a big credit. He did
Yeah.
that on his own. It's a
So-
big
and
credit
it's
to him,
amazing.
but
But
that's all.
Dawson
I'm gonna
got
give it
sucked
to.
in. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And
He
Dawson was
shouldn't
good
go
that
for
game.
Lukaku. He shouldn't go for Lukaku and try to battle him. He should try to concentrate on get to the ball because if you watch the replay, he was closer to the ball than I think he thought he would. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think that was a tired
Yeah.
decision because he was just like
it
blocking.
wasn't a decision. It was easiest decision ever, man.
No, I
Yeah,
said
it's-
tired. A tired.
Oh,
Um,
tired. Oh,
Yeah.
could be because Dawson was the
He
man
was
of the match.
blocking
for me.
everything. He was everywhere.
He's good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the best players on the field. I thought, like, for crying out loud, how many times he put his body on the line for against our shots?
Yeah.
Well, Timo Werner did too. He blocked one of our
And,
shots
and
too.
it only took a center back to play the correct ball into him.
Yeah, I felt
go
Dawson
figure
was
on that.
fixated too much on the ball in that moment, and that's how he got caught really close to Lukaku. All he had to do was sit off a little bit, and he would have been all right.
37-year-old center back does something in our
Yeah,
midfield.
beautiful
and-
header by Thiago. It was really nice.
yeah, I
formation.
mean,
If Werner didn't block that shot, mate.
I thought
Javi
Bruno-
as well. Last but not least, what are you
Oh,
saying,
I'm
bro?
sorry, Javi. Hold on.
I'm chilling, man. It's a good thing you got those 3 points. I mean, the game was pretty dead, but I like now that Tottenham, what they drew, I forgot.
Yeah, Tottenham drew.
Now we're 7 points with a game in hand, so I'm a little bit more comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's
5 points
the
over
whole thing
Arsenal.
with the whole game. The whole game. I think we're gonna expect the same performances for the rest of the season until because there's nothing to be motivated for. Nothing.
See, I said that after we won the Club World Cup in February, because we had the game against Palace at Selhurst Park, and we were just as lethargic as we were in this game. And I remember saying afterwards, expect performances like this throughout the season, but you saw it's looking even more prevalent now. Like it's every
Yeah.
single game that we come out and we just look tired. Mentally, we don't look there. The lack of ball control I'm seeing from so many players, like you can see the pressure's already on these guys.
I don't think there's enough
Aspie,
pressure. I don't think
Chalobah,
it's just
Mount, Werner. Whenever I saw any of these guys receiving, and it's not just them as well. Basically, everyone on the pitch, you could see look. The concentration looked down. The first touches were horrific, and all it was doing was slowing down our own play. And we just didn't look like we were mentally there at all compared to the way that we have been a few months ago. And I don't know if the amount of fixtures that we played this season plays a part to it, but we're rotating players and we're still seeing the same lack of motivation. And
we didn't properly
figure out.
rotate it.
It does lure.
No, I mean, compared to the Arsenal game.
Without core players.
On itself, the Arsenal game is disaster on itself. I can't put Arsenal game like for the whole season fiasco. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, more like I'm looking at the last few games.
yeah,
Like,
the
since
last
the
few games.
international break.
I think Real Madrid game loss took a big toll on Chelsea. The Real Madrid loss took a toll because they outdid themselves in the second game. And after all that, to get out the way they did, I can see more on that than anything. And now They literally don't have that much. How you say it? They don't have that much to go for. They know that they're in top 4. The only thing with Luka is probably a final, FA Cup
Well,
final.
we
That's
will
the thing
be
now. I think it's about keeping the motivation levels up between now to that game at the end
now.
of the season because it's just not there.
It has to do with the amount of games we've played. We will play 63 of 66 possible games.
Well,
You can only play 66 games if you go through everything that you can possibly play in, including the Super Cup,
Crazy.
including the Club World Cup, and the Carabao Cup, and then FA Cup, and then if you go all the way through the UCL, the only 3 we're missing are the semifinals and the final of the UCL. We will played in every other game that's possibly available to us. Then you add on top of that the international duties that these players have been on, and a lot of them have played 70, 80 games this year. So if you don't, that's a lot of matches to be involved in.
we didn't
So-
say it doesn't. We didn't say it doesn't. What we're saying it's a different thing. We're tired. Everything adds on. Everything adds on. The game, the amount of games,
Sanctions.
the what?
Sanctions.
Well, I don't know if a lot of that has something to do with it. I just
I
think
mean,
it's
a lot of people don't know if like their contracts are gonna be like they don't know
there's just a few of them.
what.
There's only 2 that were out of contract were Rudiger and Christensen.
Yeah.
Well, some are going to their
Well,
last.
that's already
last
fixed.
And that's a
People
done
now
deal.
blaming Tuchel. People now blaming Tuchel for actually saying about why would he say about
And when
Rudiger's
is the
contract?
last time?
Hey, Josh, mute.
Yeah,
It would have been Friday. Yeah, I was working just.
Yeah,
Hey, dude, we can hear you. Cool.
Fuck's sake, yeah, I muted him.
What I was saying is like people now blaming Tuchel for saying Rudiger contract situation and put it in the public with a few games left. Why did he do that? I was like, I really don't give a crap.
You know why, Alex? So he doesn't have to hear about it every press conference. You just get it out of the way.
Could be.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you know what? He's gone. That's what it is. And then so now every pregame.
What's important part is he said the Chelsea Football Club did everything possibly can.
Right. And they did. They offered him, obviously, I think the reports
230.
came out this morning at more than
was
he
that actually
wanted.
true? That 230k.
But he wants like a 10 million sign-on bonus and 10 million for his agent, and the club are just like, come on, man, we can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Not
So
for
he did
not for a
change-
year and a
you
half
see-
of good play.
He did change his tune later on. Originally, he said one thing, remember?
Mhm.
And now he's changing the tune just like Christensen. So I want the same thing that people do to Christensen, same treatment to Rüdiger. If you
So someone said it, innit?
Yeah, listen. At the end of the day, I think we'll be fine. There's plenty of good center
We're not-
backs out there.
I don't have agendas. I don't have like how you say it properly.
Player agenda.
Not the like I don't have player agenda that like I like and I bring him up no matter what. But I do have the agenda against the ones that I don't like.
Bambi.
But yeah, maybe. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're both not snakes. We're
Oh
both
yeah,
not
yeah,
snakes.
Scott. We agree with you on that. We're just using people's
Yeah.
logics against.
Hey,
Them. That's
people's
yeah,
logic, yeah.
and I put a tweet out to saying if Christensen's a snake, then Rudiger has to be a snake.
Yeah,
like the
that's,
energy on the timeline is mad. When it's
It
Rudiger,
just-
I'm seeing like a funeral setting on the timeline. It's AC.
No,
He's a
that's
rat.
because-
He's a
that's
snake.
because-
It's
nah,
like
that's
it's the
because
same.
people-
It's the same thing.
that's true, the logic, but I just think they just feel like it's going to be a bigger loss based on his performances. And then
Yeah, but we act
It
like
just
this
think
guy has
it's-
been
I don't-
an excellent center
here's
back
the
for
thing,
5
I
years.
don't
talking
think his
about like how
performances-
people and it's recency bias. So it's just like they just like Rudiger has been phenomenal since Tuchel came, and now AC's like people are calling them like like all these words. He's saying he's missing out, his mistakes, his performances. So they're like he could leave. It's easier to call people names when they're not going to be a miss. But Rudiger, we're going to kind of feel that loss.
Look, I think
I think we're
Rudiger
gonna
is
feel
not
both of
much.
them.
I don't think Rudiger is the how you say it.
Are they going to find out?
Defender is much better than Christensen. But one thing that Rudiger is miles and miles away It's a character.
Yeah,
Rudiger
defo.
character is the biggest thing for him that actually what draws your attention to it. The skills, really, you want to talk about the skill, Rudiger skills? That's not. I'm telling you, there's not much difference between him and Christensen. He's a little bit like he go. He's
What was that,
going,
Dappy? Your mic's moving mad.
Josh. He was
Oh,
going.
that's
He's going to. He's going to for the tackles. He's going like sometimes he goes into the things like really aggressively, and those kind of things in Spain will get you caught up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they will not tolerate that kind of thing. Of course, he can adjust it and everything, but the biggest thing I'm gonna miss it is about his character. His character is the one of the biggest things that he can actually offer to a Chelsea.
Like when you have a big game, like
Ye-
Rudiger.
yeah, he's a big personality. The
Like,
problem is technically in La Liga, it's more technical game, so you will be exposed on those.
But
things.
Rudiger is good on the ball.
He's got better on the ball, yeah.
Like
Well,
he
in what
actually, his
way?
long-range passing
In
is
what
very
way?
good.
Running through the empty space through the middle?
No, but like
Or-
him, his ball playing, like his long range passing, his passing, playing off from the back, and he could play with his on the left side. That's what we missed. When
Alex,
he's
he
not
got better
there-
playing for a contract. That's how good he got.
When
Yeah.
he's not
does-
there on the left hand side, our ball like our playing out the back from that side takes a massive.
By the
hit.
way, that's what Tuchel got out of him. That's not necessarily gonna be our managers will get out of him. Because if somebody watched Carlo Ancelotti when he was actually Chelsea coach, he's not that kind of personality. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not how you say it? He's not that personality like you know what I'm saying? Like he's more laid back. He's like let you how you
Sort
say
it out.
let you
Express
do your
yourself. Yeah, is
thing.
that what he's doing?
Yeah, expose
He's
yourself.
a manager, can only do so much anyway.
He's not
Exactly.
gonna be on you like too much.
But I want to bring up, we all had this conversation early on in the year. Rüdiger.
Hold on. I need to address the guy that said Ramos played in
18
Spain.
minutes in.
Yeah, go for it,
Hold on
bro.
a second. Ramos played in Spain, Alex. What are you talking about? His aggression? No. If you compare technical ability of Ramos and Rudiger, like technical, you're out of your mind.
Plus,
That's not
Ramos
what
had
I'm
the most
comparing.
red cards, didn't he?
Right, yeah.
He said it
Yeah.
earlier, So what are you talking
That
about?
line, like
I
Rudiger's
think-
like that.
I think both those guys, Rudiger and Christensen, are in for kind of a rude awakening in Spain. They're both very used to having a lot of help and a lot of tight space to play in. And in Spain, it's much more open and one-on-one. I'd be interested to
But
see
I
how
think
both
Christensen
of
will
them.
adapt quicker to that one-on-one because Christensen is good at that technical one-on-one, not sliding all the tackles.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
both
that
probably gonna be
Barca,
playing
that
in a.
Barca role fits him like a glove. Hate to say
Okay,
it.
let's move from players who don't want to be here anymore
Yeah,
to the guy who wants the game.
Yep,
Yeah,
Liam Lane with a
The off,
super
the off
chat saying,
criticized.
big up
the
to all the
hated.
panel. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
No,
big
you know
up to
what?
Marcus Alonso.
This is you.
Big up to
Yeah.
Marcus Alonso.
Yeah, Mark.
Put the cross in.
Big up.
Yeah, see, can't even say his name. What does the song
name?
say? Say my name, say my name. Yeah, there you go.
Big up Marcus Alonso. Put the ball in, and number 10 scored. Caught up the Chelsea.
Number 10.
Man said number 10, you know. Big up Liam Lane saying, big up to all the panel. Terrible game, but the great Christian saves us. Yep, brilliant finish from him as well. Very composed, especially with the amount of pressure at that time on the board too. But it was a horrific game all round. Like, I'm glad the substitutes helped us. Christian Pulisic, Lukaku, brilliant. And Alonso, yes, I know the comment section is going to be on to me for it. I will give him credit when he plays well. I've done it before, like the cup final, when he absolutely bossed it in that performance. He played well. Same thing yesterday. Who the fuck?
Who's moving furniture?
It's one who's next to me. I don't know his name.
And
Oh,
Sami, I'm off of.
I mean, somebody is moving furniture somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's cool, it's cool. But yeah, Jesters, Pulisic's performance. I think Tuchel said as well something along the lines of him being in very good form, but the international break and going to America in the different time zones kind of had an impact on his performance coming back. I'm going to find the direct quotes on it, but what was your thoughts on this performance and potentially sign the next few games? I don't really know, but what's your thoughts?
I'm not putting any money on that.
He's a super sub.
I don't like to give players excuses. They're professional athletes. Travel's part of it.
Yeah.
End of that.
Yeah, and let's give Timo Werner some credit. He earned that and held that position the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's been playing really well. Like
he played for offense. He played for the defense.
Yeah, you're not gonna take him
Play
off.
for the other team as well.
Yeah, that's
He
what I
gave
said.
away
He
a lot.
he played for the defense too.
he's a very
again
versatile
the
player.
formation we've been playing suits Timo over Christian anyway. The two striker formation is much better for Timo than Pulisic. He's better in the 2-1, so you would have to change formation.
Kai needs to be rested for first game.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Kai needs to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
rested.
He looks a bit off it right now.
Even Mount needs to be rested, man.
Yeah, I
Even
feel-
Mount
We
needs to be
rested it. We rested him for the last game, and he came on and he was just average again. Like, it's just bad
No.
form.
Who?
Yeah,
Like Kai.
Yeah, he might be in bed.
Yeah, of course he didn't rest it for half of this match. Wow,
Yeah, for about
that's a
60
lot of
minutes.
rest.
Yeah, and then he came up for 30 minutes and then did nothing other than
Do you
2 or
think
3 flicks
he's
and a bit of
going?
jogging.
Do you think he's only resting for half a game? It's like you skipping a day in the gym because you
No,
work
because
out
there's
at the
much more
same
days in
amount.
between it as well. Like, to me, like,
Yeah,
he
but
came on and he didn't do much. Barely even got involved in the game against Arsenal. So I don't really see that as too much. He's just been in
Well-
bad form. It's the same as the majority of the season. But that's why, like, I don't really care too much about the rest of our attack. Like, if Mason Mount's our most consistent player, and he hasn't even been that consistent this season, what do you really expect?
Yeah, Mount needs the rest. I actually thought he would have been okay yesterday, but when you watched him, he definitely looked off of it a bit.
he looks tired.
I just don't know if what you do if you change, like, then you have to play like Ziyech or Pulisic as a 10 if you're going to play the same formation, and that's where our depth really starts to bother us, because it's like then you're either having to change formations to fit the guys coming on, or those guys coming on have to fit into the newer formation that we're playing with the 1-2. Yeah, it makes it a little more difficult. That's what I was kind of hoping in that Arsenal game, that Romelu would have really taken it by the balls, because I think he did. I think with Kai's form the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, he had a chance to maybe grab that position a little bit. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I agree. They do look a little tired, both of them.
A lot of those players, if you look at our core players, Mount, Mendy, Rudiger, Silva, Aspie, Havertz, have clocked up way too many minutes, and I think you're starting to see the performance in our game now, because they
Plus,
you can rotate everyone else.
Some have,
Plus,
some have
nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Plus,
No,
nothing.
but
to play
it's an accumulation of how many minutes, and plus international, like
Silva's
just said too.
37. He's had the most minutes of the squad, and his performance hasn't dipped.
Well,
Yeah, but he's played
He's
10
also
international
a
games
player.
too.
At this point on his team.
He
He's
should be
also-
retired from international football, and still he's played 10 games as well for Brazil.
You will not find a Brazilian guy who will retire on his own from the national.
Take care, Jermaine. Bless.
Who
But
say
yeah.
what?
Oh no, I was saying that's to one of the guys in the comment section. That's all. But
Yeah,
yeah, like in terms of the thing with fitness and everything, like I get it to a point, especially the amount of games that we've had this season. But I don't know, it's a personal thing for me. I can't be bothered with giving a lot of these players excuses when it's just been the same performances, even from the start of the season, as opposed to now. Like we haven't seen a lot of improvement in any of our attackers, if we're being completely honest, this season.
Do you think
The only thing I've
Chelsea
seen is-
will?
Go on,
Sorry.
go on.
Do you think Chelsea will help Lampard stay up in the league?
I hope not.
Probably.
I hope not.
I don't
No.
think
I couldn't care less.
I'm not for-
He's still staying up. He's still staying up.
I'm
I'm
agreeing.
not trying to drop.
Nah,
I'm
we'll
not trying to
give
drop
him a
points to anybody.
customary 3 points. Don't you worry. We already know it's coming. Either that or we'll draw against United because we struggle over there as well. But
I feel like we're
it's
being
what it is. This is why I'm still worried about the top 4 race, because there's so many potential banana slips right now. And
Are you
Arsenal
worried
is
like 2
utterly
teams can
horrific.
overtake us and push us down to 5th?
Unless we get a result, if we can get a win against United, cool. Then I think we've basically done everything that we need to do, and we can.
Lewis, Arsenal
can
got
be
to
a
play
bit more
Tottenham
comfortable.
in the next 2 games.
Yeah, like 2 shit teams. Like one of them will win.
But I'm saying they're either two of them are up for top 4. And
No, but Tottenham, I don't see Tottenham as the real worry or anything like that. Actually, no,
But who-
Tottenham, to be
I
honest.
think-
it will end up
Especially now that it's
very-
out that Conte wants to leave.
Yeah,
Why would you want to leave?
legit,
so
though.
why are you worried then?
yeah. I think it's
Worried that
absolutely
Arsenal
legit.
overtake us.
Yeah. Well,
Because I've got no confidence.
the
in
inverse
Chelsea
report
squad
is
right now.
Conte has had no contact with PSG. Of course he hasn't. It's his agents who've had contact. I mean, it's semantics there, man. Let's go. But
I
Yeah,
think he
they-
would absolutely leave Spurs for PSG in a second.
You'd leave anyone from Tottenham.
And they want to get rid
Yeah.
of Pochettino. So
As soon as he got in there and realized what a shit show that place is from the
they've
inside,
sacked Pochettino.
yeah,
It's
he's
just a
been.
matter
Yeah.
of when he's leaving. He might.
no,
leave
yeah,
before-
I'm saying
he might be out
he's
before the
done.
end of the season.
He's done. So
By the way, did anybody miss Bayern Munich won a league?
10th in a row.
And-
No one cares. That's why.
In other
Yeah.
news, water is wet.
Yeah, man.
it was just another Sunday.
Right. That's why I put zero credence into like Bundesliga or even like
What the bad odds? What are the betting odds when?
like
You lose money,
when
Alex, when you
something
bet on
10
it.
years, when you win something 10 years in a row, how can that ever be enjoyable to watch? Like,
Yeah.
Zidane might not come back to coach PSG. He might be waiting for the French job.
I-
French national
I
team.
thought there was something with because he's from Marseille and from Marseille and stuff like that. that he
Yeah,
would-
people say that too.
something against it.
People
Or
say
wait
that
out.
as well. So
could wait out. People could be waiting out the City job too after next year, after Pep leaves. You might have some guys try to wait out that City job.
Or this year, if we win in Championship League, he's leaving this season.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly.
I still
Man,
can't
He
see Pep
wins the
leaving.
double Premier League and the Championship League, he's leaving.
Shit, if I was Ten Hag, I would have waited one more year for the City job over that United job. That United job is a fucking nightmare. I don't. They need
Ten
a.
Hag is not that great either.
Well,
They're
I don't
gonna-
think it's
They need
guaranteed
11
that Pep's
starters.
leaving.
No, I don't think Pep's
Well,
leaving. but that, Man United are gonna. Those players are gonna really tear out Ten Hag. He has no idea what he's in for.
Yeah, if and when City gets sanctioned, that'll be the end of it.
Well, he's already announced he's leaving after next season, so I don't know why everyone thinks he's going to have this big about face and sign a new 5-year deal. Like, even if they do get Erling Haaland, which it looks like they probably will, like, I don't think he stays more than a season.
He has to have surgery too.
Let me go through a few of these. Felipe says, "Big up, guys. What about Rice Scrawny?" I thought the loving for
Scrawny
Declan
legs.
Rice on the timeline after the game was fucking embarrassing.
What did he do?
Nothing.
He-
Got
nothing.
shipped back into centre back when
No,
Dawson
no,
got
no, no,
sent
no,
off.
no. What's the why?
Oh,
Scrawny-
no.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure.
Okay,
But-
well, there was one incident with Marcus Alonso, and then Mount pushes away Marcus Alonso, not Rice. And then
It's
after
not-
the game, Rice has this huge smile on his face, and
Oh yeah.
he's dapping up Mount. It's just like, dude, you just got beat. Why are you
Yeah.
smiling? Those two, I'm serious. Those two need to get a room and just work their issue out. Whatever what you do, there's just too much bromance going on there.
No,
Tuchel
but
got
to
in
me,
his
like
ear-
the
Tuchel in his
Mount
ear
and
a bit
Alonso
strange.
thing, the Mount and Alonso thing wasn't that deep for me. I
I
think
agree.
the smiling thing with Mount after the game, I think could piss off a few West Ham fans. But
Yeah.
if they aren't already pissed off with the amount of twerking he's done for their own rivals, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just people who are already pissed off will be pissed off about it. But I didn't see anything in the limited time he was on the pitch to say, boom, 150 million, take it. But half the fan
No,
base will
he
still be
ain't
milking themselves through him because he's a Cobham graduate. So you can't save people who don't want to be saved, is what it is.
I thought it was
Just,
gonna help
I thought
us
the
win.
loving on the timeline was embarrassing.
I
But
just-
go on.
Hey, if you guys had it now, imagine if he signed. You see that all the time.
But he's not going to sign. We're not going to pay that much money for a DM. Nobody does.
Listen, yeah, like when you hear
Technically,
those
you're paying
prices,
that money for DM and the center back.
yeah,
Because he can play
that isn't a realistic price, and no one's ever going to pay that, and that's not what he's going to go for. And as soon as he push for a move, it's going to be around that 80 and lower mark. So you'll never go for that
80 and
much.
lower.
I'm not paying 80 million pounds for it.
And
DM.
this is deja vu. This happens with a lot of players. They go, "Well, I don't want to pay that much," and
Remember
then
when-
like Chilwell comes in and he was only 50 mil when everyone thought he was 80.
Well,
So we've had this argument heaps of times.
But
It's
Yeah,
not
but
about the
remember when
price.
we said, remember when we said not the Hurricane. What's that fraud from
Haaland.
Scotland? No, they went to the Real Madrid. What's that player?
from
Gareth
Scotland.
Bale.
Oh,
Oh,
Remember
you
when
said
Gareth
Scottish.
Bale we said
Call him a
Should have said
was-
sheep. I would have known.
Remember the Gareth Bale when he went? There's no way Gareth Bale worth that much money. Somebody paid it.
If you're talking about Real Madrid,
Definitely
Real
Oh,
worth
Madrid
it.
throw
It's not
was
the
worth
same
that
apples
money
and
at the time.
oranges.
Gareth
Real
Bale
Madrid
was
throw
worth it.
crazy money, but no one's going to pay 150 for Rice. West Ham put that there for a deterrent, so no one does come for him because they don't want to sell. But as soon as he wants to leave, then that changes everything. So it's not really, you can't be just set on the money. You know what I mean? So once that can easily change in an instance, you know, Rice can come out and say, "Yeah, I want to play for a Champions League club," especially if they lose the Europa final or the semi-final. Sorry, and they don't get it. And as soon as something like that happens, it changes everything.
Yeah, but
And the
the
club
club,
can just
I got-
refuse.
I got a question. Do you want to spend the whole summer negotiating with something with no guarantee that it actually might happen, or do you want to look for other targets?
We have a whole defense to rebuild now.
No,
The
I
midfield.
actually believe a lot of groundwork has been done last season or even the season before. I think that if new owners come in and they're just going to go, we're going to have a big summer and we're going to be one of the busiest clubs with a lot of incoming and outgoing as well. I think a lot of these ones that we already have foundation to pick up and go, like Koundé's just probably pick up and go, and maybe there's
my days.
groundwork for Rice. There's going to be, look, you guys got to remember that we were in for Hakimi and it was just about him or PSG. I think there was other players approached that we didn't hear about, and a lot of transfers can happen very quickly because we didn't hear about it, but there was approaches, there was negotiations, and maybe it just didn't happen, right? And maybe Chelsea wanted to wait a year. So there's going to be a lot of that can pick up and go, especially with new owners that just run with it. And especially if they give Rüdiger and some other people more power, because there might be less channels to go through than there was with the Roman's ownership. So I'm hoping for a real busy transfer season.
Do you think the people that selling players will not know that we don't have Roman now, so it cannot like really supercharge us?
No, Roman had nothing to do with that in the era of FFP.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, really? There again. I don't understand why people don't get. There was
So why
rules put in
players have
place-
been selling to the mid
Okay,
table?
well,
Why players been selling
Let
to
me
the
finish
mid
my
table for cheaper
statement
than?
before you interrupt me, though. After FFP came in, because that was to deter what Roman was doing, you can only, in a 3-year period, your books have to balance. So if you spend it 1 year, you have to make it up in another, which means you have to have a down transfer year. You have to have a positive money input into the club. Roman was not sitting here putting hundreds of millions of dollars in the club every year. He would put a little bit of cash in the summer to make deals go through and then take it back out most of the time. So all the money,
he ran it as a non-profit, so our resources
It's not
were
what I
more,
was saying.
and we spend big. We
It's
still have a
not what I was
reputation.
saying. What I was saying is clubs that selling the players will increase the selling price based on the club they're selling to. Was
it
that
has
not a
nothing to do with
factor?
the owner. It has to do
But
with
Alex, if this new owner comes in and goes, "Yeah, we're going to do this,
Okay,
this,
why
that,"
are they selling the players for higher price to Manchester City?
because it's a Premier
They
League
can pay
club.
more.
Well, and like if you're talking about like a Grealish
Exactly. Thank
had
you.
a
You
release
answered my
clause,
question.
had a release clause.
No, it's a Premier League club. All the Premier League clubs get a higher price than other clubs because they
It's
can
not
afford
just
to
Man
pay
City.
them. It is what it is. You pay a premium when you're in the Premier League, especially if it's an English player going from an English team to an English team.
And what we're-
You can't ask £50 million for a certain player to go to the Bundesliga, but you can get that money in the Premier League from a Premier League team based on revenue. So
Yeah.
Well, until I
There is
went
some. You're going to see Newcastle's prices be jacked up next season for them.
well, and like what Declared was saying earlier about Rice, like, I mean, he can request and say he wants to leave all he wants, but in actuality, he's got 3 years left on that deal. West Ham are in no position to have to do anything with him if they don't want to. Much like Harry Kane, who basically set out the entire summer from Tottenham to try to force a move, and Tottenham said,
Nope.
"Get fucked." So, I mean, like, he can say all he wants that he wants to leave, but in actuality, he's got 3 years on that deal. They can literally just say, well, you're going to play out at least another 1 or 2 of these before we sell you.
You're talking about Rice,
so,
yeah?
That adds to it, Josh. Like, every club goes through this. When a player comes out and say they want to leave, they don't want to risk of having a unhappy player as well, right? So maybe they let him leave for a certain price, or maybe they do exactly what you just said with the example you said, because both have happened. Some clubs will go, okay, if someone comes in for you, or they make a verbal agreement, just like, all right, stay 1 more season, and then next year, if someone pays so and so, we'll let you leave. It could be easily done as just how you described it. But like I said, once that ball starts rolling, you're not talking about 150 no more. The number and the agreements and trying to find a middle ground becomes, agreeable. So it's like you said, stay 1 more season, someone pays 80 million plus for you, you can go. It's exactly like that. And then at least you're going to get something out of him. But if you straight out say, no, you're not going nowhere, you got 3 years, then Rice might not have a great season next season. Do you know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Like, with Rice, and I get what you're saying, like, if you link it to Harry Kane as well, you can see that mentally his head disappeared for like a long period at the start of this season. Yeah. But from a West Ham perspective, I said this on a stream yesterday as well. For me, I think what Rice can do with West Ham over the next 2 to 3 years is worth way more than what selling him would be worth. Even if they do eventually end up losing him on a free or for a reduced fee on the last year of his contract. If he gets him in a stable position as a stable top 5 side, regularly competing for top 4, I think that's more valuable to West Ham as opposed to selling him now. Maybe they don't get the right replacements and they drop down and they become more like a Europa League battling side, which would still be good for them, but they're not looking at that. Right now, they're 3 games away from the Champions League. As soon as they go into the Champions League, if they win the Europa League, number one, they ain't going to sell Rice. And also, they look more appealing to getting other players too. Then they can build a team, potentially build a team ready for when Declan Rice leaves. And they've got all the time to do it. Obviously, it all depends on them winning the Europa. But right now, especially in the summer, they'd be idiots to sell Rice, even for 150 million, seeing as how important he is to that side. It would make no sense.
No, we're just not going to get we're going to get a DN this summer. It's just not going to be the one we could have got last summer, and it's not going to be Declan Rice. So that's.
You can't looking for third options. I agree with you, Lewis, and like I was saying, people got to be open with different possibilities and not to make. Well, I think the actual point I was making, to not make judgment on a transfer fee and then just rule it out altogether. There's different possibilities. There's exactly one you just said, which you won't even go, and even for 150, where West Ham maybe won't even give in if they do win the Europa. And there is ones that if he might be actually really keen to leave. And there's heaps of, like I said, I judge. I think I've asked this question before too when we're having the too many Rice argument. If they were both the same transfer fee, who do you prefer? And then really go like that. And in a way, we could miss out on both. There is that possibility too. So it's not like we got the choice of one.
Miss out on both. Both who?
Tchouameni or Rice?
Oh, we're missing out on both of them.
Yeah, I think the Tchouameni should probably say.
Are you saying it's done deal?
Yeah, pretty much is a done deal with Tchouameni going to Real Madrid. Now that Holland is not going to Real Madrid.
Okay.
So should offer them Bakayoko, see if they want someone else.
So
I was really excited for this transfer window. You're gonna have to, now that you kind of killed one of those dreams, you're gonna have to add. You're gonna have to tell me who is coming.
I
already know this.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. Hey, what about Pogba?
Pogba's going to PSG. Signed. Done. Going to PSG.
I think Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, I think Pogba is going to be probably a bit of a new player if he had a horrid time at Man United. I kind of feel that could happen as well, wherever he goes.
I think with the new
Oh.
owners, like, we're going to have to anticipate that we will turn to Cobham a lot more than we usually have.
And
So
should we have went for Schumann last year?
We should
100%.
have, but we got
And
£100
we
million
should've gone for
sack
Kunde
potatoes
too.
instead.
and the right wing back. But no, we thought let's keep Hudson-Odoi for right wing back depth. We can go for Kunde next year. And who needs a DM?
So with that being said, does our board need to be looked at?
100%.
And it is getting looked at because we're getting new owners.
100%.
There's rumors
they need to
that
be looked
Marina
at.
and Buck are staying.
Yeah.
I think Marina's role will
Buck's
change.
gonna go.
Marina's role will change, but I think I think with the new owners said they were looking at new directors of football, so her role will be reduced.
Well,
Probably
only
not.
that.
Probably not this summer window though. I would say
It's
almost.
yeah,
depending
I-
on how
but-
fast this
yeah.
thing is done.
But I don't
Scott,
think-
if you're not working, I'll send you a link. Let me know.
But here's the thing: I don't think we're going to sign anybody this summer. That's what I think. Because I think
Why
with
is that?
new owners,
Started.
because with new owners, there's been no scouting that's been done. The transfer, I don't believe there was a transfer plan because we never
So
had
we
a transfer plan.
We lose Aspie, AC, and Rudiger. We're just gonna sign nobody.
I mean, hold on, but hold on, relax. I don't think the objective was to lose these guys in the first place. But I think, they're gonna have to like work on the spot, I guess, and we have common players. I don't know who they're gonna find. Like, where are you gonna find 3 good centre backs in the same window?
You don't
And
need
Kunde's the one
three.
we're aware
You
of.
only need 2.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Aspie
cool.
is
Okay.
staying.
Okay, cool.
We said
Yeah.
good, but
Yeah.
What are you flashing at?
I mean, okay, cool. So, I mean, we're all aware about Kunde. There's other centre backs that people have split opinions on, and then we've obviously let a few centre backs go over the years. I think the safest bet is to look at the centre backs that we have coming back, like Levi Colwell, or instead go back for the ones we let out last year, like Guehi. But that's like quite unrealistic. So yeah,
well, you can't because we don't have a buyback on him. We have a
hence why I said it's unrealistic.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there's no reason to bring up his name because you can't bring him back.
So
Yeah.
they're the only centre backs we can go for. That's it.
Some guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta look guys like Delic, guys like Bastoni, guys like Kunde, guys like there's guys
He's got
available.
2 years left on his contract, but it all depends on where he sees his long-term future because they view him as a future captain there. Delict, I think, again, will be a bit unrealistic with the price tag.
No,
Mark
not
Gay
really.
wouldn't... Really?
We've been
No,
linked to
because
Delic for a long time now too, by the way.
Juve want 2 of our players.
But you say we need 2 centre backs. We're going to need another
Jorginho
fullback.
and who else?
Emerson.
Oh, yes, please. All right, cool. Yeah.
So
if
you can-
Jorginho don't re-sign, I'm all here for that. I'm all
So
here for that.
you can work a deal out to where you knock off a huge chunk, and it might be they want to get rid of Mino Raiola, and they might want to get rid of his wages. So they might say, okay, we can work out a deal where it's you come in with a certain amount of money for Delict, and we guarantee we're going to turn around and buy Jorginho and Emerson from you for this much. And so it's basically like trading 2 players plus cash for 1 player, but it's not because that's illegal under UEFA.
Yeah.
But you
If
basically
you don't
that's how it
re-sign, I think
works.
that's the best deal for us, 100%, because then that gives us another centre back too. So yeah, I
And
fully
no,
agree.
Tomori is not so much better than Delict.
Apparently he's having a bad few weeks in Syria. Felipe Barbosa says let Pulisic and Timo go. Dembele and Nabry for free.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
thank
too
you.
sure if the Dembele boat's passed. Is Nabry on the last year of his contract?
Yeah, he doesn't know if he's gonna resign or not.
That's intriguing.
There's a real shot at Dembele potentially there. I mean, I think we're in the mix. I think we're definitely one of the teams in the mix for him.
Pulisic and Werner for me all depends on the right amount. Like to me, I'm happy with Werner's performances, but I've already said it's just raising the transfer value for me so far. Pulisic, again, I do want to see him have a good run of games in that position too, and he's looked promising over the last few months. So maybe, but again, if the right fee comes from him, I'd be happy to see him go as well. Dinershan says Rudy and AC leaving next season. Tuchel might play a back 4. It depends on the midfield reinforcements.
Yep, depends on the DM.
That'll be the big reason for it. And I can't pronounce your name, but appreciate the donation saying fair play to Pulisic. He's always the first one out whenever things go a bit off. He deserves a longer run. And again, he deserves a longer run. Robbie Musto on Christian Pulisic. What does he mean by he's always the first one out whenever things go a bit off?
He
As
always
the
gets
first one
dropped.
benched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, I've seen the same thing with Cho, though. So it
Yeah, but
goes
Cho's
either
not
way.
half the player.
Yeah, no. I'm not turning this into a Cho and Pulisic debate. I can't.
Well,
be
We could do that if you
And
want
he
to.
did
No,
get
but I
about a
think
9 or
I don't
10.
really get the base
I mean,
behind that comment.
He did
It's
have about a
literally
9 or
a
10 game run there, by the way, too, Cho, where he started every game for about 9 or 10 games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, around the. Oh, no wonder I don't want to remember that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like Pulisic does deserve a better run in the squad too. I don't know whether Tuchel still sees him in that super sub role or if he's going to start implementing him as a starter a little bit more. But I'm here to try
I think,
anything
yeah.
at this point. Just whatever works because I've run out of ideas with this attack. It all just frustrate the fuck out of me. But yeah, good confidence for Pulisic, I guess. I don't really know. Like,
I'm just
not
glad
really
that
got
ball
to
from
that attack.
Alonso ended up at Pulisic's feet, not Lukaku.
Hey,
Wait, hold on. Have we slandered Jorginho yet?
For what?
Georgie-
Because like his performance was bad other than that.
he almost cost us though, but
Horrific.
yeah.
Yep. Alex turned on his camera.
Aye,
Alex
man.
turned on his camera.
Shameless. Shameless.
Honestly, I think when he missed the penalty, I was like, I had no reaction. But when Pulisic scored, I then just started screaming, "Fuck Jorginho!" Like, because I was so angry.
Because Pulisic's the
Was
hero.
that
Because
you?
Pulisic's
Because
the
I heard
hero.
somebody over the ocean, then somebody was screaming bloody.
No, I was just screaming "fuck Jorginho." No. I was screaming "fuck Jorginho" instead because I was like, "You really tried to sabotage this." So I was like, "Yeah, fuck you."
He didn't try.
It definitely wasn't a sabotage. It was just a horrid penalty. That was just.
He
Nah,
needs to be off of now
Didn't
because
even hit a
he's played
corner. It was
I
a
don't know why-
poor penalty.
If you're gonna hit a
fuck
pen,
that.
you just walk to the line and smash the fucking thing. I don't know why these guys try. He gets so fit, like just smash
He
the fucking
scores a
ball.
lot of them though, but he does
No,
know.
but
He
That's
hasn't
the
changed
thing.
it.
Like he does that hot penalty a lot, and he gets the ball off the ground too. There's some
Yeah.
height.
No.
behind it.
But here's
If you
the thing.
look at
Do you
his
remember?
recent penalty form, it's not that great.
No. But
Let
do
me
you
let
remember?
me
I thought
let
that
me
was
let me
Hold on.
put my-
Let me just say this. Before, I think when he missed the two penalties for Switzerland, for Italy, he was like, the keepers are starting to read the penalty techniques. I'll switch it up, and he just hasn't.
He's done it though. He has changed it. He's done a normal.
He did it
style.
once. He did it once.
He's done it more than once. He's
He's
done
just
like
a
What
dead
was his last
baller. Let's just
penalty
move
for
on.
us other than yesterday's?
The one
Was it the cup
for
final?
against it was against World Cup qualifying for past two matches. He missed the penalties.
I think.
No, was there another one in between that?
Between what?
It doesn't even matter. But yeah, it was just a poor
He
penalty.
scored 9 goals this season, Jorginho. 9 penalties, of course, but like lately he's been
Yeah, he
missing.
just missed all the big
Let
ones.
me let me
No
say
big deal.
stuff about my favorite player.
Of
I was
course.
waiting for it. I didn't want to bring this up, but since y'all brought it up to Jorginho, I'll
Yeah.
unbiasedly say it. For me, he's not the worst player on the pitch yesterday. For me, it was actually Conte. Conte was worse.
No
Conte
way.
was
Huh?
worse.
Yeah.
Conte in the
Yes.
second half.
Yes.
Conte
No,
was
he wasn't
worse than
worse.
Well,
him
but there's some of his passing was
Because-
fucking horrific.
Yeah.
First half
because
is passing.
At least Jorginho was making
Look,
forward passes and trying to break the line.
Jorginho was the one that making forward pass. It's not. Look, for me, it was the two worst players. It was Kai and what's his name and Conte. I didn't have
Kai
problem with
was the right
Jorginho
winger all
playing
fucking
because he wasn't under pressure. They did not go at us. They were backed into their own half, and Jorginho was he actually passed a couple of times through the middle. It was actually good, but that's me softly taking the pressure off Jorginho as the way he played. But the penalty, the penalty.
Conte was good yesterday. I don't know what are we talking about. He was pretty good yesterday.
I thought Conte
He's the
was
best
good.
I've seen him.
No,
That
he
was
just
the
had a-
best game. That's the
He
best
just
game
had
he's
a
played
few-
in
no,
months.
He just had a few long shots from distance to test the goal.
No, but he was actually trying to make stuff happen.
He was very
Yeah.
aggressive carrying the ball. He didn't turn it over really much at all. He played good defense.
But
Other than his passing.
it wasn't about that. It was about because he had to play higher because the way that West Ham set it up, he was ineffective. The runs in the middle because there's nobody to challenge him. They were not pressuring him to run through the middle.
Well, I mean,
Then
that's, I
he
mean,
goes
he-
to Josh.
go ahead. I'm
Then
sorry.
he goes to that wall that we had problem with, and he just passed it back to a player in the back, and that's it. And the Jorginho, the one that actually had to pass it for the middle or pass it forward. That's one thing. That's not what it. My
I guess I
problem
watched
with
a
Jay,
different match.
There are a
we
number of
were,
people who
we
are worse
were,
than Dante.
because
I
look,
watched a different
every
match. I'm admitting I watched a different match. I didn't watch the same one you watched.
let me finish my agenda. Agenda is not agenda against player. Okay, about the penalty. When you don't have that much run into the ball, you have to have a little bit of power created. For example, if for like Hazard, he doesn't have much react, but he can change the angle, and he also can put the power behind it, create it from his core. Like you don't have to have a big run to create the little power. If you have a good core, well, Hazard has a core, but depends on the time of the season. It's the beginning of the season, he has a fat, but at the end of the season, he has a core, and he can create from nothing. Jorginho can. So if goalkeeper does not bite on his little bitty hippity hop that he does in front of a goal, he doesn't have the power to create the goal to go. Otherwise, he basically gambles at the last second. And Fabianski didn't bite. Fabianski just stood, and he didn't create
Fabianski
it.
moved, man.
Yeah, when he took the shot.
Yeah, when he took a shot, but the
No,
shot
but-
was so weak.
Yeah,
But he
Jorginho stuffed up because every time what Jorginho does, he sees that little move and he goes the other side. This time there was a little move, but he still kicked it. He did that gamble. What you said. If he doesn't know, he's going to just pick whichever side, right? But there was a move. He didn't read it, right? And for me, it was just a stuff up. Maybe just a lapse in pressure. Being it's going to be the winning goal. Maybe there was something because usually when you watch every other one, a keeper starts to lean to a side and Jorginho goes the other side, and that's how he's been scoring most of them. But this side,
Yeah.
it was exactly everything the same way. He just didn't read it and he kicked it to that side.
It
So
was
he
a
took
shit
it. It was a
penalty. I
gamble.
could have saved
Yeah,
that
it was a
penalty.
shit-
It was.
Yeah, that's
But
not-
end of the day, that technique, right, is and when it works well, it works well because when we have penalty shootouts, you see a keeper, he'll have a little script of what type of penalties that people take. But when you got a technique like that, there is no script.
Yeah, declare though. I don't want my main penalty taker being like, sometimes when it works, and sometimes when it doesn't,
Yeah, but
it
he's got
doesn't.
a
I
good
don't
record,
know.
Josh. No, but Josh, he's got a good record.
But he's
That
making-
technique is
not
really good.
recently.
Not
Can I
recently.
be,
Not
can I be
recently,
real?
but
I
his
said this
form
on
dipped
Twitter
recently.
as well.
not for
And
club level though.
For
By the
me,
way,
like I get hindsight's 2020 and everything, but for me, because he won the penalty and everything, I would have given that to Lukaku. I think he would have
Yeah,
done a lot
I
more.
said the same thing. Well, I said the same thing live during the game. I said let Rom hit this.
Same.
I think
No,
Mount is
no,
actually
He
because
good
if he
at
scored the
misses
winning
it,
goal.
it's
I
no.
think
Yeah,
Mount
yeah,
is
yeah.
good
Like
at
if he misses,
penalties.
if he scores, but like Jorginho
No,
missed, and
no.
everyone's slandering him for the penalty miss
I
now,
think
so it doesn't
Mount
make
should
a
be on the
difference.
penalties. Mount is
I
actually
don't
good.
rate that.
I heard people say
Mount,
Lukaku,
no,
and
not
I
Mount, not
would.
Mount, not
I'm
Mount,
actually
not
happy
Mount.
Lukaku didn't
Mount
take it. That guy would have done
Mount-
something
Mount,
great.
Mount's penalties are so inconsistent.
Yeah,
At
we've
least
seen
Lukaku
Mount.
has
We've
like a
seen Mount
solid
in pens.
record.
Well, there
It's
was
not good.
there
Mount
was, there
missed
was somebody
Southampton,
on the
he missed
pitch that
Spurs,
could take some.
He missed the
national
first one
team.
against
It
Norwich.
didn't look good
Yeah.
when it goes in.
Yeah, I was
understand
gonna
that.
say I was gonna say actual Pulisic is really good at the penalties too.
Kai Havertz is good at penalties as well, like very good.
He-
At
Can we
and
just
he-
all agree that we don't need
You weren't on the
midfielders to
pitch.
take a penalty again next time around?
Oh, it's fatter.
No, we could agree on that. Jorginho shouldn't even, without injuries, Jorginho shouldn't even be on the pitch. But
Yeah.
we
No,
moved.
No, I agree. Yeah.
man, just because he misses. I mean, he's
On that kind of
missed
situation, yeah.
No,
I
for
would
me, it's not
get
because he
someone else.
missed. It's not because he missed. I think it does more for Lukaku in terms of confidence if he gets the winning goal in that sort of a game.
That was
Yeah,
good.
but what
Let
about
me
if
ask
he
you this then.
misses? What about if he
If we're on
misses?
3-0 up, yeah,
If he
would you let
misses,
him
it
take
gets
a penalty?
worse. But like, look at Jorginho's
It
one. He
gets
missed.
worse.
He missed, and everyone's slandering for the miss, and they're not even talking about his
Yeah, that's
performance.
because of the
So
agenda.
it doesn't
Because I
make a
thought he
difference.
had an average performance. That's why.
I
was
Yeah,
a-
I'm not saying
an
he was
average
great. I was
Jorginho
saying that he was
performance.
average Jorginho. Yeah, people don't.
I
don't
didn't think
make,
it was great. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I thought it was
good.
okay. I thought it
Yeah,
was
like-
typical Jorginho's
But
performance.
now
I'm
everyone's saying that he was fucking horrific because of the
No,
penalty
he
miss.
wasn't
That's why I
horrific.
get if you miss,
I'm not
like, it
casting
will come on
Jorginho
you
in
worse,
that kind of
but
situation. Not
still,
at all.
like, it's high risk. You either
Nobody asked
score
you,
and you've got
Fata,
confidence
what you
and
were
people
saying.
chanting
You
your
just
name,
came in.
or you miss and it goes the other way around.
We were slamming Timo Werner. Where were you when we were slamming Timo Werner?
Yeah, Lewis, that was my main reason for it. Is like a goal like that for a striker's confidence can be big.
Yeah,
I
Timo
think
Werner played for Chelsea. Timo Werner played for West Ham, blocking a lot of shots too in the front of a goal.
Josh,
He had an average performance that game.
Are you
know, he's
whistling like Pokudoku at me? Or like, what's his name?
Nathaniel.
oh fuck. Pulisic's a good shout though. Like I haven't
Yeah, Pulisic
seen him
has
take
a good
penalties
penalty.
regularly
Yeah, I forgot
except
about
for
that.
the one for
But
the
he's
US
not
against
always
Mexico,
available.
I think. But that's it.
He
I
had,
don't really know
he
what
had,
his penalty record's
he
like.
had
He's
two
not
in one
always
game.
playing though.
I want that
Yeah.
next killer
Well, game
striker
he
we
won
get.
4-0, he scored 2 penalties, right?
Had a hat trick with 2 penalties.
Maybe Pulisic on pen's a shout, you know. I haven't
And-
even properly considered that.
He takes them like Ivan Toney, just walks up to the ball and puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah,
No-
but the
none of
thing
that-
is, you can't put the penalties the guy that doesn't play a lot of minutes on your team. So
I know, but there's some teams that rotate their penalty taker. They don't have one set one. And I
Yeah,
do think
but-
it would be better for us if we do that.
no, you have
We
to
can-
have consistent.
We can
Same.
we can petition
Yeah.
for a new role. A new
There's
rule.
an order
Like,
that you must follow.
We can have a penalty sub like they do in NFL for the kickers.
Designated
Another thing like
penalty
that.
taker.
Yeah.
we have a
on.
penalty saver sub and a penalty taker
yeah,
sub.
exactly that, yeah. See it like that. It's gone. It's all good.
But any of the footballers on the pitch that play professional football should be able to take a penalty and 9.99% of the time score it.
Well, that's like
There's
how
too many
looking at the
elements,
free
just like-
throws for the basketball. Shaquille
Well,
O'Neal was
that's it,
not
and
a
I-
great one.
And I'm the same about that too. It's
Yep.
an easy goal.
We have no
You
one
should be
guarding the
scoring.
free throw.
Yeah.
Ah, fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
don't-
Mine
I
are-
don't give
How
no one
easy?
should
How
miss
easy is to make a 7-foot basketball player throw a free throw? Basically, can reach to rim, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, but no one's even guarding it. as
That's
well.
on him
even
then,
worse.
isn't it? He should practice more.
He
That's
was-
even
Yeah,
worse.
But it's a little tougher when your hands are about half the size of the ball. It's a little harder to hold to actually
Have a
Well,
feel.
so- thing.
You should be able to reach it from there, man. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Scott is just like on fire in that chat. It's
Yeah,
entirely
bro, I
wrong.
wish you
Everything
were
wrong.
gone.
He's
How
doing
many
it you,
Probably
but
at
not
work
on
or
stream.
something.
That's what he's doing. He's doing you.
I'm
but
seeing
not
a
on
lot of
stream.
shouts for James, Lukaku, Kai, potentially as our main penalty
why
taker.
isn't Kai on it?
Kai
Kai wasn't on the pitch.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
on
No, no, aren't we talking about going forward?
Yeah, but Kai does take penalties when
going
J5
forward,
is on the pitch.
I think
Kai
Jorginho would have overruled him.
Going
I think Jorginho
forward,
still would have
Kai or
overruled that.
Lukaku for me. But
Yeah.
I think Lukaku has a slightly better record.
Yeah, and Lukaku's really good. That's again.
He didn't
to
miss
me,
one for
when you-
Inter
when you
Milan.
take
I know
turns-
Kai missed the Super Cup one, but that's the only one that really sticks out in my head.
That's what I'm saying. Timo's good at penalties. I do agree with that. He has it.
Yeah, no, Werner's another shout as well. I wanted him to take it last
The
season.
last
He might have
penalty
had
had
more
some
goals.
take-
He missed a couple. That's why he
It's
got
German.
He
taken
missed
off.
one.
it.
He
DNA.
missed one. And he got taken off
What
it.
did he miss? Which ones did
He
he
missed
miss?
one
That was
last season.
with
He
Frank
scored-
still here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
last
scored
year
two,
it
he
was-
scored
it was-
two, and then he
yeah.
missed
The
one
reason why
against
I don't
Hannover.
trust
I don't even
Werner
remember which one he missed.
It was a
because
good.
he's
He
not
didn't
playing
miss
well.
though. The keeper saved
One
him.
at a time, one at a time, one at a time.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Chris.
I was gonna say, yeah, the penalty Timo missed. It was actually a good struck power, but the keeper just got it. Like, you know, he gets the right
No. You shouldn't miss any
What
penalty.
do you mean, no?
This, Chris, man,
This
this
is
Werner
shameless.
defense is shameless. Absolutely shameless.
Oh,
Just
it's
say
shameless.
you get a rubbish penalty. Just
Luton-
say
It
you-
Is
wasn't
that-
rubbish. It really wasn't. It was a good
Did he
struck
miss
hit.
Is that
Yeah.
Surfer?
No,
keep
Long
the
time
table.
Surfer.
I
wasn't
don't
the-
even remember that, Gabe. Yeesh, alright, fair enough. I didn't remember that.
Sharp,
Can we
sharp,
talk about the
sharp
two
backer.
sitters that Timo missed yesterday?
There was the smash that he had off a corner, which I didn't really think was a sitter. But what was the other one?
Well, I mean, we're calling everything sitters now. So let's, I'm just
I
saying,
I don't know what
you're
you mean.
doing. I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing. I'm that slick, fam.
Oh, that's
I'm not.
petty.
I'm not that falling for it. Yeah.
Nah, cook jesters. It's calm.
No,
I
say
do
what
the
you said
same
first,
thing with
like, mate,
AC
that's it.
Rudiger stuff. Go for it.
yeah, I mean, you know, he had two sitters. Mount missed three sitters yesterday. So, you know, since we all don't know what sitters are anymore. You know, I'm just going to say every time anybody misses on their team, it was a sitter. just to keep everything
Even though it's
even for
serious.
everybody.
Keep it petty.
Yeah, keep it even.
So
No,
someone
I
said-
hear what you're saying, man. I hear what you're saying, but like we
I
had
tell you,
barely
sitter
any
in the
chances
crowd.
to even miss sitters with. In all honesty, like just
I do
passed the
think
ball around the
Timo-
midfield and defense all game.
The one where he like kind of went around the keeper, like it was hard angle, but I think
He just took
Oh,
he
no,
just
but
took
yeah,
one.
yeah, like the
He just took
defender-
one touch too many. That's all. He could have shot. He
didn't
should
have
have
to-
shot it a second
No,
earlier.
He couldn't shoot as soon as possible because that defender was literally
Oh,
blocking
because
it.
the sun was in
Oh
his
my
eyes.
God,
He
Chris.
did
No,
that.
nothing about the sun. The defender, no, hang on, no. The
Oh my
defender
God,
was
you
literally
do this,
blocking it.
Werner
The
defends
defender
fun.
was blocking
I'm
it.
not
So
listening
of
to you
course he had to
Werner
take it.
anymore,
I swear,
man.
Werner
You're
could
so
slap
bad.
somebody
But
and he'd
like,
be like,
you guys
yeah,
think
that wasn't
it's
his fault
FIFA,
that
you
he
guys
slapped
think it's
him.
FIFA like
His
that.
man
The
left him-
contact
his
lenses,
man
in
left
the
him behind.
way. You have to take around the defender before you
He
shoot.
didn't brush his teeth at a 90-degree
Oh
angle
my
that morning, something like that. Anyway,
I'm not even being shameless, but defender
you
was
are being
even
you're
there.
so shameless when it comes
No.
to Werner
You are
defending.
being
It's
shameless,
ridiculous.
bro.
It's
Okay,
ridiculous.
okay. So if a defender's in front of you, are you gonna go around him or shoot at him?
Shoot at him
Shoot
because
through
the
his
ball can-
legs.
You could take a deflection.
Oh,
Yeah,
take
you-
the
you
deflection
just-
off a
you just
corner.
spin it as hard as you
Isn't-
can.
Isn't that an angle?
Doesn't matter.
What about through his
Hang on,
legs?
hang on, no,
You
no,
guys-
let
you
me
guys
destroy-
hit
let me
hope.
de- hang on. Let me destroy your argument. His shot against Arsenal was on an angle, and it took about 17 deflections and went in.
Yeah,
So-
but that's more straight at the goal.
Yeah, but-
here we go,
through the
another
middle of
excuse.
his legs.
Hey, but it's not even that. The
Okay,
good
I'm not
strikers,
gonna,
good strikers can make a pocket of an angle.
Go in with deflection. It can, but I.
You know, the
realistically, I
only thing
don't
better. The only thing better at deflections, better shots is your defense of him. That's the only thing better. It's ridiculous.
think.
But anyway, let's
I
leave this.
saw that coming from a
That
mile
left-hand
away.
side, that left-hand side for creativity. Did anyone think the left-hand side? It was Azpilicueta left centre back, Alonso at left back, Kante left midfield, and Werner at left forward. That was our creativity options on the left-hand side yesterday. And on the right-hand side, it was Trevor Chalobah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Jorginho. So when people
Opposite.
say
Jorginho
we
plays
have
on
a
the
problem
left
with
side.
creativity,
Jorginho never plays Jorginho never plays on
Bro,
the right
Alonso
side
wasn't
midfield.
bad. Alonso really wasn't bad.
Oh,
Ruben was
Jorginho
acting
does
really.
not
Ruben
play
was
on the
good
right
yesterday.
side.
And this is coming from me as well, man. I'll be the first to cuss him out. I thought he played all right.
Don't let the assist. Please don't let the assist overshadow another average Alonso performance again. Please. He had one good thing.
What
that
are you
was great.
talking about? He's the man of a match.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He said he got man of the match for an assist. They didn't even give it to the goal scorer. What if you give it to the
You
guy
can't
who
give
won
the
the
post.
match?
It came on 8
Give it
minutes.
to the guy who passed it to him. He was
Hey, Andrew,
average.
you
at
got to
best.
give him credit for just staying
Anyway.
fit. You know, he's an
Oh.
older guy, and our players are falling apart. But you know what? Alonso stands strong.
This
So
man's
Well,
I
you
just
have to
gotta
be
give
able to
him-
run
He's a
to pull
cockroach.
something.
Yeah.
Look, I don't
I
think
just, I just want a warm body that gets staying fit.
the
He's
We're gonna
only
give him
man
props.
of the only man
We're gonna
of
give
the
him props
match
for not getting
was-
injured.
He's
The
a human
only man of
roach.
the match was yesterday was actually the guy that got the red card.
Yes,
Yeah.
they said it in commentary. They said it in
Yeah,
commentary.
yeah.
They said, "Oh, if it goes red, I can't give him the man of the match."
Yeah.
They actually said, "So why would you give it to the guy who got the assist? Why not the guy who got the goal?"
He played for like 15 minutes though.
I don't care. Just give
can't
it.
do
No,
that.
no one else deserved it.
The resulting
That's
penalty
what
wasn't
it-
even scored, so I probably wouldn't have been
Exactly.
By the
surprised
way,
if
did
he
anybody gonna mention? I know what's his name is not here, but since he's not here, maybe I should bring up. How was Mendy performance yesterday? Anybody?
He didn't have to do too much, as I remember.
He was
One
barely
thing in the
tested, but
second
like
half,
there was,
he
I
was-
think,
He
one
made
or
like
two
one good
saves.
save on Yarmo.
Yeah, that double.
That
Yeah, but he was
The double-
offside.
Yeah, that was
anyway.
offside.
Yeah, they caught. Yeah, it was
He
still a
was
nice,
offside anyway.
still a good
There
double
was nothing
save.
to
bro.
really deal with. They played their second string attack.
Dude,
They couldn't
did.
even transition properly because of it. They tried counter-attacking a lot of times. They just didn't have the personnel.
Dude, you know they yesterday by the starting lineup they literally gave up on the top four race by that starting lineup. You do know that, right? They put
No,
all
they
their
just came
eggs-
for a draw.
Yeah,
they came
put
for
all-
a
they
draw
put
and
all
then
their
they-
eggs in- they got European
because-
semi-final. They
Yeah.
got Euro
Yes.
semi-final.
That's
The
an easier
semi-final
route
is
than
a
trying to
shorter
get top four.
route.
Yeah,
We have a
Exactly.
better chance winning that
Exactly.
than yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And now Michael Dawson's out. Their only fit centre back for the Arsenal game. We'll see an even worse lineup next week.
It's
Yeah.
Craig Dawson.
Destroyer
thought,
Killer 2000 said thought J5 missing his Euro 2020 final penalty would have taught him his lesson of being more serious when taking pressure penalties, especially. I don't. Well, there was a Switzerland one. I don't know. Like
missed
maybe
two
his technique's
against
gone down a little bit.
Shame on all those goalkeepers who haven't figured out his unique penalty taking. That they just don't. Why they all go before he hits it. It's just, I'm
He's not an
surprised he's
awful
not-
player. Like
he's
what?
not an
Yeah,
awful
I
player.
disagree
How
with Scott
fast-
You
completely
guys
there.
spoke
Awful
about how
player.
Ruben doesn't know
The
what an
fuck,
overlap
man,
is.
Robin Loftus-Cheek plays. How long did he play in a wing back position? So he will be
game.
awful
I-
awful
game.
player.
Can I be real?
I thought-
Offensively, I didn't think he was that bad. We found the
don't
ball
think
he
a
was
lot
that
of
bad
times in the
either.
second half.
I thought he was one of our
He
best
just-
players yesterday.
He's not used to
I-
playing wide, so he's not used
Yeah.
to those runs, and he's not
touchdowns
meant to
off the
do those runs. He's if you see, he's playing a different role where he shifts into the midfield rather than running up and down the field, and Mount goes wide, and it's a kind of a very unique, versatile thing compared to how the wingbacks have been playing. So for him not knowing to do that when Mount did drop deep and he went in the middle, then Mount was telling him overlap. Yeah, that's going to happen. This is very new. This is a unique role for him, and it's a new role, that's been made.
Out of Pulisic, Cho, he was the best right wing back as a backup.
No
But
question.
if we short,
Yeah.
he's the better player at the right wing back than
We
both of
actually,
those.
actually have to
And
argue
those players
about
should
that.
be used to playing
I
down
don't
the
have to
line
argue
as
with
well,
that.
regardless.
And that was I think that was like his third or fourth strong performance at right wing back. I thought he was doing more of. Remember when our wing backs were making inverted runs? He was more comfortable in the center of the pitch. He was doing that way more yesterday, coming inside.
Exactly. He can go back into. He can cut that inside better than actual Mount does with the ball into the box. You know, when one makes overrun. For example, if he does not overrun, and what's his name, Mount does overrun. If we choose switching, Robin Loftus-Cheek does better sometimes when he cuts into the box.
That's what we were doing, Alex. Yeah, that's the unique role.
I was talking to my buddy yesterday during the game, and we both were in agreement that I actually think in that position Mount plays in the middle there, I actually think Ruben would really thrive in that position, to be honest with you. The way he likes to turn and go with the ball.
He does. Technically, I see what you're saying, but the final destination, final thing is not.
Oh yeah, it's hard to say, but
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Gentlemen, I gotta go.
Ruben's probably
Y'all
got
have
a
a
better
great day.
goal scoring conversion as well.
Yeah,
So
just
just,
that.
I
I think Ruben's got, Ruben will probably take his chances better too, but I think the problem was we're stacked in those positions, and in the preseason straight away, Ruben was put into the 6th role because we were light there, and he was always going to be fighting for that position. So maybe in the preseason, but look, if Connor comes back, it all depends. I hope in the preseason maybe he gets tested out there, and then to see he's another option.
Best position is
Alex
number 10.
Alex and I have come to an agreement. We need a
He's an
really a physical DM midfielder who passes like Pogba and just stays in the DM position. That's what we come to an agreement.
So we need.
Yep.
So you're saying we need Pogba?
No.
No. Does Pogba a good defender?
DM that passes like Pogba or just passes it forward.
Not bad.
I think he can be a good defender.
Because if you watch him for
He's
France,
not.
he's a
He
great
takes too
defender.
many touches. He gets.
But for me, Juventus Pogba was a bit like that. Maybe we're never gonna get that again.
Yeah, but he will not have Juventus time on the pitch.
What do you mean by passes like Pogba? Do you mean
Alex,
someone with a good
I got it,
passing
Alex.
range?
I know what it is. Alex.
Yeah.
It's a profile like John Obi Mikel, but with better passing. That is exactly what we need in this squad.
John
I'm good.
He couldn't move.
No, listen to you didn't listen to what I said. All of it. A profile physical like John Obi Mikel, but with better passing. That's what I said. So the physicality is there. The passing needs to be better. That's what we need. I think we need to buy 2 of them. One Stein and one that can rotate and come in. That's what we need this season, as well as about 28 other players that we need this season. So,
Andy Mikel
Obi Mikel used to give me the shits when he used to run back.
Was on DM.
Slow.
You should just delete your account, man. If you don't think Mikel was
Come on,
a
Alex.
DM.
Maybe it was
He was
before his
DM
time.
first,
Maybe he
but
doesn't know. Maybe he just
his-
saw it on YouTube or
His
something.
country actually played center attack and mid.
Yeah, he played for Nigeria 10, but
But
he
for
is
Chelsea,
a
he
DM.
was a DM.
Did you see what I'm saying? Did you see what I'm telling you? It's like people don't know the history. It's like, Mikel only played DM for this club. I don't understand what you guys.
DM and bench.
He played DM.
Yo, when we were winning,
Andrew,
when we
they
were
probably
winning
wasn't even like
1-0
watching
in the
football.
70th
Come on.
minute, and Jose Mourinho made that Mikel change, it's current.
Who
Do not put Frankie de Jong in
Frank
that
Lampard?
name.
Who partnered Frank Lampard in the central positions in 2012 Champions League and the entire run? John
And he
Obi
was man of
Mikel,
the match for
who
me
won all the
at,
trophies while he was
final.
at Chelsea. playing
People
as
just
DM.
throw on
John
random
Obi
names now.
Mikel.
Didn't he play DM as well for Middlesbrough at his end as well?
I don't care, but he played DM for us.
I know.
I don't care. He played. He played.
I
know he
when-
played
Look,
for Mikel.
I actually think we won the Championship League in 2012 because of Mikel more than anybody else.
Yeah, in that
Wait, what'd you
championship final, he was the man
Nah,
of the match.
I
No.
think it was Bertrand.
In
It
that,
was
Hold on.
It was Mitch
You're playing a left wing. That's a specialist role there.
Mikel was the man of the
You
match.
can't really.
A man who saved 4 penalties that night, and one of them was literally a one from Drogba's foul.
Okay, so hang on, Mikel. I've just been in. Mikel wasn't a specialist DM. He played DM well. He played.
Why?
You know what he is?
Why are you guys
He's
entertaining
a
this
hybrid
guy?
player. He's so talented. People don't realise.
Andrew, you know he's judging him off FIFA. You know he got his FIFA card. He goes out, but this guy's not a DM. I scored with this guy.
I have some. I
I
think I found somebody that might meet your description of like as a good defensive player with decent long passing. I don't know if you guys have seen Sandro Tonali at AC Milan, but yeah, I think he's quite good at like the description.
I
you
don't
just
know.
gave.
seen him. I'm not going to judge. I've not seen him, so I can't. do
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
don't.
I don't want a long passer anyway. I like
I
how
want-
position.
I want that
I know you
Chelsea-
want it, but we
I
don't want
want
to.
Tchouaméni
We want
and I
to.
want Basuma. I want
We
Tchouaméni
wanna-
and Basuma in the same transfer window.
Basuma be great.
That is a great partnership right there.
That's what I want as
Yeah.
a two pivot players.
Yeah.
And I will stop calling people Jennifers and just. I never think people forget. I
That
never
midfield
think.
requires
Jennifer's.
requires physicality. That two man pivot, and that's what you need. And you can let the wing backs and the front three do the attacking. You need physicality and stuff like that. Maybe one of them.
So they will not be afraid. So they will not
Exactly.
be
So
afraid
they can
get
go.
cut out of position.
They can
If
go.
you remember a couple of crosses from what's his face from Alonso yesterday in the front got cut in a counter attack and really quick yesterday. Those things. That's why Alonso doesn't crosses because he knows he doesn't have the legs to go and get cut under on top.
Get back,
Same
yeah.
thing. Jorginho does not do it because Jorginho knows that he will not even attempt to chase the counter attack.
Do you know?
There's a complication on the YouTube. How faster referees
Who's got coming on? Let's go.
how faster referees are versus Jorginho. There's a couple of times referees outrun Jorginho.
You know what I'm noticing? I criticised him for this, and maybe I'm a bit wrong. I criticised why I'm just going. Why is Alonso always inverting his run inwards, right? But I'm thinking he's doing that because no one's in there to cross the ball to. So he's going to be an option. Yesterday was so frustrating. Kai kept coming out to the wide, and I'm going, just stay in the freaking middle, right? We need someone who's there as a target and whatever. But he kept coming out like
And
that.
Kai does not have the ability to take on his man
He
one-on-one.
can't cross.
Kai does not?
Very seldom he does, but beating a man one-on-one, he's bad at that.
No, all he does is a few step overs and then pause and
He
wait for
doesn't
someone
have
to.
to.
Position.
He doesn't
We
have
don't
to.
have,
Like,
I'm not saying he has to, but in the context of what Andrew was saying, pulling out wide, that is not Kai's role.
that's why he
Yeah,
should
I
not
don't
be
know
in
why
the
he
wide
spent the half the
position.
second half playing at
That's
right
what I'm
wing.
saying.
So he should have been
Him
told.
beating
Should
a
have been
guy
told to stay
one-on-one
in
on
the
the
middle.
width.
We
Not
don't
his
have a
place.
single attacker who can consistently beat a man one-on-one.
Yep.
It's
The
interchangeable
last
front
and the
three,
last
so
time we
that's why-
have the last
team players
last
now.
time we have was Pulisic in Lampard's first season was the first time we had.
Facts. Scream it from the rooftops.
That was lockdown,
Can I
wasn't it?
say
That was
something?
lockdown,
Can I
wasn't
say
it?
something?
Lockdown Pulisic. Come on, G.
Can I say
It's a shame
something
he's now
against
dead.
that?
But, you know.
Can I say something against that?
Go on.
Okay, so how is it easier to beat the defender when they are set as the defenders or they are on the way on defending against speed? Which way is the best, easiest way to beat the defender? When you run on at him, or when you have him running backwards? General question. How easy?
I know where this question is leading to. You're going to lead it to our system and how we don't like get these players in those positions. I get that, but still,
Exactly.
like there are certain occasions where these players need to be able to create for themselves, just individually, and be able to. And to do that, you need to be like competent on the ball.
And the thing is, as well, because if a team knows they've got a player who can beat a man on a dribble, they're more likely to double up. Look at Adama
Mahrez
Traore.
or Mahrez even.
They put two players on him, which creates space for another attacker. That's the issue as
Exactly.
well. If say for
Does he still
example, like
play, Scott?
Pulisic could beat a man on a dribble, he might never beat a man on a dribble during a game, but because the other team know he can, then they'll put two players on him. It creates space for like a Werner or a Kai or whoever. But that's the problem.
Exactly.
Because most of our players are so easy to defend 1v1, you literally can just sit 2 banks of 4 or a bank of 5 or whatever formation you're playing.
If we had
you guys are talking about world-class players.
Hold on. If we had a player that can actually pass it into empty space real quick on a transition, we will have 2 players put it on Timo Werner because nobody will fucking passing that.
But that's just not.
Blonde
That's
bastard.
just like.
But we don't have it.
That's not really true though, because whenever we have possession of the ball anywhere in the midfield range, the team's already going to be set up behind anyway. So regardless, if we, like, this isn't
examples you guys are talking about are when there's a lot of space, and you're telling teams to make up stuff for themselves. I mean, players to make up for themselves. You're talking about superstars who can make something in tight spaces in that individual moment.
He's not.
What do you want about?
He's just got.
Traore has the whole half of the field to run. Yeah.
Yeah, but
hold on,
he's set up in a team.
Hold on,
Traore can't even make the team now. I don't know what you guys.
You look like a Werner.
No, bro. Okay, go on.
No, but I'm saying with like a Werner, the thing with Werner is, it doesn't even matter if we give the ball to him. His touch is so dead that he loses.
Thank you very much.
Like that's the thing. Give it to him in space, but his touch is dead.
If you put him in the Wolves team where you match him Traore, all he has to do is just run.
In this current,
he doesn't even need a touch. He can just kick it down and run.
If you play Timo Werner in the Wolves team under Nuno, then maybe. If you play him in this current Wolves team, he flops because again, this current Wolves team is on the front foot. That's why Traore became worse playing in this system than he did under Nuno because he had less space.
And you need to remember, you're comparing.
Hold on a second. But why? Why are we defending one system for dribblers? For example, you're saying we don't have the dribblers, and stuff like that. But why are you defending this system for the dribblers? And not this system for Timo Werner, Lukaku.
No. Hold on.
Hold on. Counter-attacking players. They're counter-attacking players, and we play possession football. That's why.
That's not necessarily true. Do you?
That is true.
No, it's
even
not.
If we play counter-attacking, how many teams we're gonna sit back against us?
Can I ask the question? Why is it more often than not?
Against us now? You know why? Because the space between. Hold on. The space between Jorginho and the front three is the giant space, and and both of our players are not passing them the ball; they are carrying the ball. And when it's a fact that the passing is faster than running with the ball. So if you run with the ball, the defense can build the Great Wall of China before they arrive there.
I got a question. So what team do you want us to emulate? What team plays like? Would you like us to emulate so that we can like?
We have a unique system.
I want exactly the same as Liverpool. That we can.
I knew you were going to say Liverpool. They don't. I'm gonna expose you. They don't do. They don't do what you suppose that you think they do. They switch the play and then they do pass crosses. That's what they do. What you're asking like long ball like in behind.
Hey, can I use that one? I never heard of pass crosses.
They switch the play. They switch the play and do pass crosses.
What the hell is pass crosses?
You don't know what a cutback, a pass across.
You just made that.
You don't know what huh?
No, it's maybe it's a culture thing. What's a pass across?
Like a cutback. You cut the ball, but yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, you get what I mean.
Well,
that's what Liverpool. That's what
FIFA. You hold that one pass.
R1X. R1X from the width.
Yes.
R1X. Yes. Okay. Cool.
So
yeah.
Pass across.
How did they score yesterday? First goal. Was that pass crosser?
I can't remember the first goal. I remember the second. I remember the second goal.
You know what's funny? No. Hold on.
I heard Jorginho could do a good pass across too.
Look,
no, we can't because it doesn't find us.
That's such a look. If you want to find out how what's the difference between our Liverpool and City, Liverpool are passing crossing into the box more than we are.
Yes,
and that's the bad problem. You know why? Because when we get in that position, the defense are already standing there. They running at defense and crossing into the box.
But that's what Scott's saying though, because they have threatening players to have on the ball. They need
the opposition because the passes in the middle don't hold.
No, hold on. The opposition need two more players to defend those players. Therefore, there's now more space for the pass acrosses to meet their man. We've tried passing across. Pulisic's goal was a pass across. We've tried, well, not really, but kind of.
Okay.
But,
hold on a second.
Do you understand our pass across? We have a great system right now. We have a unique system under Tuchel, right? And the way we play with the 3 at the back, the 5 at the back, with the wing backs, we stretch this formation stretches the play. So our wing backs are part of our attack. You might not see it, right? But they are the 5 people, the 3 up front and the 5, and they can definitely do your pass across as much as you want. Now, as soon as that you take that out of our game, right? Now we're doing. You see Loftus-Cheek there, and we're trying to do something different, and we're compensating for a whole bunch of stuff. But when the formation flows, right? Our wing backs that you're asking for to do stuff, right? If you got great people in those positions, you're going to get what you asked for, and you don't even need those players to perform so well, like this world class level where that player should dribble all the way into the box and score. You're going to have 5 people attacking, the 2 wing backs and the 3 up front. Now, when whichever person's clinical or not clinical, we can talk or what you can do. You're talking about individual brilliance and to make our team. We have a great system in place that will work.
Who's talking about individual
What do you want? Well, you want a player that can get the ball, take on some people, and create stuff for himself.
No, yeah,
Is that what you said?
Yeah, but to simplify it, a player that can hold the ball in width and just hold on the ball for a period of time to attract defenders.
Can I ask, what about Reece James and Chilwell? When they're fit and going, would you say those players can
do that? No,
especially they've got potential.
No, they can't. They can't hold. No, because they're not dribblers.
They can't hold the ball and run down.
What do you mean? Do you mean just like bomb down the lines? That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a player that's
like whenever those wing backs are going to see the width and a lot of the line and a lot of the, even that your name that you brought out, Traore, they get that freedom to have that space, and it's teams can't mark it. That's why they match our formation. If they try and match it the other way, they get stretched the whole middle. And if you want to mark the wing backs, then the whole middle becomes really open. That's the beauty about this formation at the moment, right? And because Conte used to play counter-attacking and teams low block, and it's a bit, people have gone on to a bit, but in this we play unique and it's very position-based.
Yes, that's true.
And every time we lose the ball, right, we have 5 people. So it's very any team that used to counter us, right? They used to sit back and try to counter us, and it didn't happen. And then with the whole game, they weren't that threatening. That's why we kept so many clean sheets. That's what Alex said.
I agree with that. Yeah,
like teams come at us now, and now we got strong abilities, and that's why we're conceding some goals. But you see, this is unique, and teams aren't onto it.
No, but that's the thing. Like that's why we were successful at the beginning of the season. But once one of our fullbacks went down, we needed to, we couldn't play any other way, and that's why we're seeing the problems that we're seeing, and that's what me and Scott are talking about. Because players can't hold the ball long enough for our fullbacks to make our wingbacks to make inverted runs into the box. We're just stuck with passing the ball sideways and backwards all the time. So yeah, I agree.
Inverted run was a compromise for wingers that weren't used to.
No.
So Reece James and Chilwell didn't do that all the time, right?
If anything, if we had more competent wingers, it would amplify the inverted runs of the fullbacks.
Say, Andrew. Look, when everything's running well,
why? Let me ask you, why are those wing backs has to cut into the midfield?
They shouldn't have to.
Exactly, but I'm asking these guys that supposedly why are they cutting into the midfield? Why do we have to?
I don't know. You told me.
I don't know your name.
Well, sorry. You get yellow Brazil.
You told me.
Why am I telling you? You're the one that's saying that actually that's a good thing.
Okay, cool. Wait, our fullbacks have to cut into midfield. I mean, as Tuchel said, they're not fullbacks; they're midfielders anyway. You know what I mean? He plays them as midfielders.
Okay. Can I tell you why I think that is?
Okay, you tell me now.
Okay, my biggest problem with Chelsea the whole season and before that is how giant of the space we leave between a defensive a pivot and a front 3. That space needs to be gapped. When we have a possession of the ball, since we cannot progress it quick enough, because I'm not going to bring it up again, since we have to carry the ball there, it's because we don't have nobody there. And we don't have nobody there because we have the people that run ball there versus pass it. So there is a vacuum over there. There's nobody to pass it. Front 3, you want them to be wide to stretch the field, right? The center forward has to be up front. So That space needs to be filled. The only way we can fill it, because a midfield cannot do nothing about it, we have to use a wing backs. That's why. But if you will use your wing backs like you're supposed to use the wing backs, and a midfielder, that threat can be, I'm not saying passing over the hoop up top all the time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying by creating a threat that you can go with one pass behind the defensive line will actually make the defensive line awareness of that threat. So they will not be judged, and they will not be actually easier and stay higher up the line, that they know that they can be exposed. So one position of that in that big giant hole that we have, that if we can fix it in one transfer window, will increase chance of those forward guys play better. Because at those three, for example, if we have not Reece James and the other guy injured, if both of them are out, we have Aspi and Alonso, we have a bigger problem. That space needs to be filled up by one of the forwards. So Mount has to be dropped into it, right? But somebody always have to drop. So it's easier to defend against two forwards than three people. Do you see what I'm saying? There is a giant hole. And people think, why are we keep having that giant hole in there? That somebody that did not supposed to be there are filling up, like Alonso moves in. Mount has to drop it, but he technically supposed to be higher. Do you see what I'm saying? That's
Alex,
my biggest problem.
Mount is meant to do it, isn't he? When Reece James in that plays, Mount that always does it. But I liked it when we had.
I like the way James does. I liked it. It's
no,
not
but you know at the start, Alex,
playing the whole season like that.
You know, the start of the season when we played Lukaku and we had Havertz and Mount, they were one time was Havertz doing it, one time was Mount doing it. Now when it was just Mount, people caught on, and that's when Villa was marking that space and marking Mount and almost took him out of the game at times. So we need that flexibility of so that's what I want. I want not only killers up front, but all three of them one of them can come back, and the teams can't get onto that. Once they know it's only Mount, they can tactically work around it. But once it's any of the three that can move, interchange one of them into midfield, that's so hard to defend against, and it makes us really hard to block out. And then you have Reece James and Chilwell out wide, or if we get another win back, and you can't mark them too. So you can mark the middle, but they're going to be always available. And you saw how many goals they got just from being very open.
Look, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with Declan, with what you just said. I think maybe it's because of my age, the way I look at the game. Because for me, it was always progression of the ball. You go from the goalkeeper to defenders, to defender to midfield, and midfield to the forwards. It's like, how you said, this is how I look at the game. So one create space for another. For example, if defenders need space, midfielders run in the middle to create the passing line. Same thing, midfield has to pass it to the forward line. You can skip, but you can, let's not make it Stoke and every ball goes over the top. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you do that couple of times, you will make the awareness, defenders especially, you will know that if Timo Werner leave that empty spot behind him and you will pass it to it, not necessarily have to, but making 2 or 3 times before, you will create the awareness of that center back that he cannot be so courageous and go forward and leave Trent in the back, for example. Leave Trent that way. My thinking is look, I want us to play a different kinds of style, but for me, I think the old time in me does not allow me to think that individual Hazard players can be in every team. You know what I'm saying? In every position of the field. For example, Hazard was he was best at what he does at the left side. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that we can have it every season with every transfer window, that kind of player. So we have to adapt. You have to be versatile in that thing. Scott said that the Pulisic was good. He is good. It will be games that you will, that you will be needed of those kind of players,
You're
individual brilliance, brilliant players. But the game is not one game out of the game is season. You know what I'm saying? It's a season. You need to find the consistency, not one or two games that you need the special things out of individual players. You need this, first of all, consistency, and then you need individual brilliance in specific times. It doesn't work brilliance and then consistency. It works consistency and then brilliance. That's why people say defense wins your titles. That's why, because defense is consistent, but individual brilliance is never consistent. If Hazard was out of the game, the whole team was out of the game back before. Anyway,
under Sarri days, yeah, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I understand that we need the creativity sometimes. I understand, but first of all, for Chelsea, it needs consistency. To win the Premier League title, we need to be consistent, and buying those kind of players like dribblers. How can dribbler can bring you consistency? How? Is he gonna take on every player every time for 48 games a season and beat each and every one of them? No, he's not.
No, you need a strong backline first.
But you need something that actually brings the consistency. And those kind of, I say it, and I say this is my personal view, but I think the most consistent and most important, position on the field, it's the defensive midfield. That this person makes center backs looks good. By literally, he can make center backs looks good. And if he actually little bit creative, like Fabregas, my God, the guy has changed my mind because I used to not like him. But with that threat ball over the top, he can destroy defense in one pass. He didn't do it all the time, but when he did it, that made defense awareness. And
Alex,
I think that's the pivot.
I agree with you on the important position DM, but we still need competent attackers as well.
Of course,
Yeah.
Javi. I'm not saying
Ship out the majority of them.
Harvey, run through the team and think how many positions we need.
I know what you're saying. I don't get me wrong. I'm not defending a forward position. I will not defend Lukaku and everything. You can't fix when you run 1-on-1 or you miss an empty net. You can't defend that. No matter how good your pivot is, if you cannot hit the empty goal, that's a moot point. But the thing is, I always another thing that is my personal view. The forward line is always plays on adrenaline or how they inform. You see what I'm saying? So, for example, look at Timo Werner. Like, he scored the goal all of a sudden, like, Timo, I'm not saying he's good at what he does again, but you can see he wasn't that horrible player as he was before. But think what he can do with the defense that he runs into the space with. Like, he's not running into the wall, but he's running into defender. Just think of that. Like, Salah is more threat when he is running at defenders with full speed than he's dribbling, even though he's good at dribbling too in the tight spaces. But he's more threat when he's running, and that's the fact.
Gallagher is the answer, I think. I'll have Gallagher. I'll promote Gallagher to the attack with Mason Mount and Werner, and put the German Dali Ali, demote him to the bench, because Gallagher.
Here we go.
No, I will demote.
No, he's talking about Kai Havertz.
I know.
I will demote Kai Havertz to the bench. And listen, Tuchel is so unfair. I've seen this year. He's so unfair. He's always giving benefit of doubt to Havertz. I've seen in so many games when, Cho had an opportunity, Pulisic had an opportunity, Lukaku had an opportunity to start the game. He started Havertz. And when he does start Lukaku, Pulisic, or Cho, what he does is put them in the wings, put them in the middle, or start Sar at the back, start Alonso at the back, I don't know where, start Saul in the middle with RFC. This guy always, whenever Kai Havertz has a shit performance and it's an opportunity for Pulisic to shine, he fucks up the defense. He fucks up the midfield. So we end up blaming all our attackers.
Klasref, I have a question. Are you two? So Klasref, are you two
You were
then?
doing so good up until that Mount Saul and Alonso.
So Klasref, are you? Klasref, wait. I have a question.
Pulisic and choke. Go on.
No. I just want to ask: are you two out then, Klasref?
I'm not Tuchel out, but he needs to understand that. I know a lot of like Chelsea fan doesn't have stimulation in brain anymore because of the owners. But listen, I am very stimulant human being. I know exactly.
We know you stimulate a lot.
Listen, I know exactly that the Tuchel has something to do with this guy with those
in your
tubes,
hand.
you know.
Listen, healthy young boy. That's all he is.
Listen, my brain is still very stimulant. I know what Tuchel is doing. Listen, if Rüdiger is gone, Christensen is gone, he's gonna give he's gonna give a Pulisic an opportunity, and you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna put Sar in back four system. He's gonna start Saul.
Whenever he gives those players opportunities, he makes defensive rotations that impact the squad.
And midfield. RLC and Saul started the game where Cho was shining. You know, when Cho was in our team and Pulisic was also in our team, we were in top of the league. We were in the top of league. He fucks up Cho. He fucked Cho because
he didn't. He didn't fuck Cho. Cho fucked himself.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And then Pulisic, listen. I don't understand how come Kai Havertz started over Pulisic on the first leg against Real
I can tell you
Madrid.
why. I can tell you why, because Kai Havertz scored.
Mount didn't start it.
I'll be real. Havertz was like the only decent thing about that first leg, even if he stunk out the second.
And then Brentford game. Listen, Kai Havertz cost us a Brentford game when Werner misses against. Yesterday he missed a goal, right? But we won the game. But when Kai Havertz missed the chances, it cost us a game. And then obviously,
yeah, you know what? That's fact. He had two big chances in the second half. That's facts. Fair enough.
And listen, we're talking about 70 million price tag Kai Havertz. This guy cannot take. Listen, when we sign player for above 60 million, we expect them to win us a game from nothing. And he doesn't do that for us. People are talking about that Newcastle game where he scored a goal. Listen, that was absolute beauty from
This is why my Werner criticism, I've become a lot more stronger with it this season because I'm not giving them the first season time to adapt thing. And the same thing goes to Kai as well, I agree. Like, a lot of people aren't talking about how inconsistent this guy has been this season. No one's really spoken about as much as we've gone for Timo Werner. And it is because of credit, because of the Champions League final, the Club World Cup final, and other big games he's turned up, which is fair enough, he's clutch. But the Brentford game, fair example, missed two big chances in the second half to turn the game around. Madrid missed a big header that could have taken us to penalties. Crystal Palace, like Mark Gay had him in his back pocket, and yesterday just did absolutely nothing. There was the Southampton game, did play well in that, did play well against Madrid in the first leg, but we need consistency, especially in the second, especially now you're into your second season. You are more used to Premier League football. You've had 800 more minutes than Lukaku this season and one extra goal in the league. Like,
Lukaku 100 million and he is still better than Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz 70 million 2 season. He's not better than Lukaku. Listen, I don't like
what I
Lukaku.
agree with you is, like, I do think confidence plays a factor into it as well. If we were to have a completely new system and to start the season with it, play a back four, have a new midfield, especially a midfield that passes the ball to Lukaku quicker when he makes those runs from midfield, you might see more goals from him potentially. I can't defend anyone in the attack.
Did anybody notice how Klasref said like everybody above 60 million is expected? You know why he threw that number in?
Yeah, no. Good analysis. Hey, what do you mean over 60? Take that down a bit, because Werner's got to come into this too. Werner has to come into this. No individual
Listen. The reason I'm not liking Havertz from season 1 is because of Werner never wanted to come to Chelsea. Werner was literally in City and Liverpool. The only reason Werner came to Chelsea is because no. The only reason Werner came to who's doing this fucking noise? Right. The reason only Werner came to Chelsea is because Chelsea wanted Kai Havertz, not Timo Werner. They talked with Kai Havertz. They wanted. Listen, no. Chelsea didn't want Werner.
Why did he come then?
Because Kai Havertz, family said to Werner, he's a young guy. He cannot come to London on his own. He needs help. Listen, this is a fact. I know it privately.
Werner came first, Werner or Kai Havertz?
Werner came first.
So
and Werner came in July. I'll tell you, because Werner had 3 contracts. He had from Liverpool, City, right? And then there was another club who was willing to sign Werner. But Kai Havertz family said, first, Werner, you signed for Chelsea, so our child can come to Chelsea. That's the reason Werner came. Listen,
Chelsea were negotiating with Leverkusen for months. They were so hard to deal with.
We signed him in September.
And also Madrid were meant to be interested, and then Bayern were, but then we had the whole issue with lockdown and everything. So Madrid couldn't afford him, Bayern couldn't afford him. Chelsea were the only team with money because we had the Eden Hazard money saved up, and we also had a year of a transfer ban, which is why we became front runners for Kai Havertz. And that's also why it took so long.
He signed after Werner. If you really listen, okay, I gotta go, but
get to go.
Gallagher will probably be taking his place.
Alright, thanks for that, Klaus. Thanks for that.
A little bit.
I don't know what it was, Klaus, but yeah.
He started off poorly. He started off poorly.
Why Havertz joined Chelsea, and then it was just. But Klasref, it has been a good talk, man. Big up yourself, as always.
Yeah, get to going, Chief.
Yeah, for someone that doesn't get kicked out, he knew where to go. He knew the exit door and everything.
It's a shame. Like we were having a good conversation too.
What's funny was the way
Frosted Myth, my guy is always
legend, by the way. The way he dropped that 60 million, but the thing is, if you look at back, he had a little wobble because I think he forgot how much we paid for Timo Werner.
Only 47, come on.
In conversion.
He kind of like, if we pay, if look, he was like, every player that we paid 60 million plus, we expect to score win the goals on his own. The way he thought about it that quick, because he knew he can actually save himself from saving Timo Werner, because he forgot how much we paid for it. And I think we paid, how much we paid? 50?
Are you talking about euros?
47 to 50 for Werner. And Havertz got
47 million pounds it was.
72 mil. That's fucking ridiculous, man.
But still,
the only reason I'm going to speak about it is Lukaku.
Look, we bought it for the talent, and I think we did the right thing.
With Kai Havertz, it's definitely investment as well.
Still yet to see it, but he's won us trophies, so it's cool. I'm not going to say anything. The Champions League itself was worth the 72 million. So
exactly. That's why Fernando Torres will never be, for me, is the worst player that we signed, because he helped us win the Championship League.
The goal he scored.
His thing was about as the equivalent of Torres winning the corner for Drogba's equaliser. That's the way I see it.
Exactly. Well,
or like the goal against Madrid, where it was
goal against. What about the goal against Barcelona, Torres?
We were already winning at that point. We were already winning.
Yeah, we were through on the drop, but if they score,
away goals. We're through away goals.
No. We are going on away goals before the goal, Torres goal.
Yeah.
So, but how much time is still left?
2 minutes?
Nah.
It was more than 2 minutes.
It was an added time. It was
like 10 minutes. I swear it's like 10 minutes.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'll get it up now. They scored in added
because it's been a
while.
while.
No, it was in the game, man. It was in the game
Yeah.
because that orgasmic scream from Gary Neville was.
Yeah, Torres scored in the 90th minute.
Was it really 90th?
Check.
Really?
Literally
Yes.
check.
Because
It
it's
was
been
at
a
the
while.
time.
Anyway.
It's hard to remember like what minute. Like I just knew it was.
I thought it was
like,
before injury time.
I thought it was before too.
No, I
But,
think it was just into
we didn't
added
need the
time.
goal anyway. We were winning. He just sealed it.
Yeah,
No.
it was
Yeah,
Ramirez
on the
goal
away
sent us
goals.
through.
We
won
were winning
3-2
on the
away.
away
we were-
goals.
Yeah, so even if we didn't score it
Yeah,
and we didn't
Torres scored
concede,
in
we
the
would have been
90th
right.
but-
minute.
Look,
92nd
it's-
minute, Torres.
Yeah, but it's like we are winning against them in Championship League semi-final in 2009. Remember that?
I
What was
I
the
know,
score?
but people
What
make it
was
out
the
like
goal?
he scored the
Hold
winning
on
goal.
a second. What was the time of Iniesta's goal?
Right. Around the same time. But again, take the context into account. That Barca goal that Iniesta scored was their only shot on target the entire game. They were pamming our goal in 2012. Like,
What
Petr
about
Cech
us?
was-
Did we have any shot on target before that?
Yeah, we had 5 penalty claims in that game. We were battering them. They
Yeah,
were
they're
down
playing
to 10
basketball
men
in the
too.
box.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that game.
The
Is it that
2009 one you're talking about.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
Iniesta scored the from
We were battering them in that
I
match.
know, but still, what I'm saying is like in this, I think Torres' goal is really important. It killed everything. Killed.
No,
everything
there's
that-
still importance to it, but it's like it wasn't
No, I'm-
decisive. It wasn't
Yeah.
decisive.
And
Well,
people are
he
saying
was
that
decisive
he was
corner.
worth his money for that goal,
Exactly.
and I don't think
decisive
so.
corner.
That's what
But
I'm
like
trying to say. I
decisive
think-
decoy run from Timo as well.
Exactly.
But that's the way I view it. It's like it kind of helped, but it's not. It's like a technicality or something. But it's like whatever. We'll take it for what it is because work rate and all of that. So it's fine.
always say it's wrong to be. It's okay to be wrong. My wife proves me for past 20 years I'm wrong. Shit.
But you're
man.
right, yeah.
But I'm right.
Ah, fuck. Right. It has been a good stream. Should be back tomorrow for United games on Thursday, so we'll do a preview on Wednesday. There'll be something to talk about tomorrow that we'll stream about. So yeah, big up everyone that's locked in. As always, smash the like and subscribe button. We'll see you guys for the next stream. Take care, like and subscribe, and as always, up the Chels. Let's go.